Eric Winston joining us, NFLPA president, at least for a short time more. Before, again, it has to be, for those that may not know, it has to be an active player that is the NFLPA president. That's why Eric can no longer be the president. And I'll say again, I would vote for this if I had the chance to. But again, let's play out the other side of it, because you've had some strong words from others, including I've asked about, and you can explain the quote-unquote war chest. Is there money put aside should this thing go awry, and should players miss time? And we've heard the Pouncey brothers talking about collecting money, and I know that's a lot harder than it seems to be able to do, but how viable are those kind of things to protect some of the players who are making less in case this does go the wrong way?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Too much has already been said from my side, quite frankly, about what we have planned and what we have that is viable. I can tell every NFL player that there are viable plans out there. Unfortunately, there's been some information that's been disseminated that, lets the other side know exactly where we sit, to be 100% frank with you. And you never want to let the other side know exactly what your resources look like and what you're capable of. Fortunately, that's not everything. So listen, you've been through. I think you were playing during some work stoppages.
87.
You know how hard it is.
Oh,
yeah,
Eric, listen. I have told
and
the story time and time again. In '87, when I was making $70,000 or $90,000, it was my third year, $90,000 a year, and I was out there pro-union picketing, and it was the millionaires who crossed the picket line, and I was sitting there going, what in the hell did you guys just do? You screwed us all. So, I have were
those guys giving you guys handouts to make sure you didn't cross?
No, they were not.
So, listen, I think this is a different time, and speaking on, what the other side, what some of those guys would say, I do think this is a different time. I think social media has been powerful in certain ways, but as you know, too, I don't think anybody really knows what they're going to do until they're really faced with that decision of whether you go get the game check or you don't. And I think that's something that, when you go back to vote on this, you're going to have to really look deep inside yourself and say, hey, listen, it could get to that. Doesn't mean it will, but it could get to that. And I got to know what I'm going to do when it gets there.
Yeah, we have Jeff Saturday who works with us now, and obviously he was a big part of the 2011 negotiations. And he always tells the story that everyone was all gung-ho until he said, okay, that means you won't get paychecks. And people are like, wait, what? Yeah. It's like the reality of hearing the words, Eric, suddenly changed the dynamic very quickly.
Mm-hmm. And that's the way, and that's it is, right? Everyone's gung-ho. Everybody wants to fight. My thing is I want to win the fight, right? And I want to be able to come out the other side stronger, better, and quite frankly, with a bigger share of the revenues, with higher salaries, with better benefits, the whole nine. So that's the way I look at it. And I know we're positioned either way, but I know that path is also a hard one and is fraught with a lot of danger. And it is, and like I said, it is what it is.
Eric, I wonder, and the vote has just been available to the players for about a day, and I'm not sure how much you can get into about that, but I'm just wondering, how have there been a decent amount already who have voted like they knew how they were going to vote right away, or is that been backed off a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously I've had people that have texted me that hey, I voted. And the one thing I want everybody to know, too, is, we've done a series of informational packets, a series of calls leading up to this. So while the voting process is open for, 7.5 days or whatever, it is till the next Thursday at 11:59 p.m., it's not like the guys first got that information yesterday, right? The rank and file didn't get their information yesterday. So we've got an independent auditing firm tallying the votes. So I couldn't even honestly tell you exactly what the numbers are looking like, but I can tell you that I've just personally received text messages from guys that they've voted. I know people have put that out on Twitter that they've voted. So listen, I think a lot of guys are, and as they should, and for all the reasons we pointed out, are taking this very seriously. So while I think I've always been concerned of, okay, I really want to make sure everybody's voice is heard. I think they understand that. I think everybody understands, the importance of making a vote. And I think guys are getting out there and going to do it. And I think by the end of this thing, we're going to have a big number of guys that have voted.
So, Eric, as you put this deal together with the management council and the executive council, was there one part of this deal? Was there one thing that you were most proud of more than anything else? Was it the extra 1.5% of revenue? Was it the extra bet? Was there one thing that you really wanted to hang your hat on?
Listen, I looked at this comprehensively because our guys did, right? If you talk to one guy, they're going to talk about work rules. You talk to the other guy, they talk about revenue. You talk to another guy, they're talking about benefits. So I never felt like I had the luxury to really just go all in on one thing, hang my hat and say, yeah, we didn't really get a lot of stuff over here, but we got, a big game here. I look at this and saying we really pushed the ball down the field extensively in a lot of areas. Like you said, the revenue, like you said, the minimums, the cash minimum spends, the benefits. If there's one thing, and I don't know if this is where I hang a hat on, but I'm really proud that we're bringing all the former player pensions up to the 2011 level. And for the listeners that don't know, your pension level is stacked kind of where you played, and it's always been this stair step. And that's understandable. That's typical union or typical pension. You are kind of where you worked, and that's what you put in. But what these guys have done, and I got to be honest with you, I'm just proud to be a part of it. And our leadership and our men said, hey, man, we need to make sure that we're going back and picking those guys up and bringing them forward with us. And so we accelerated their pensions and made sure their pension level, their payout, their per month payout for accredited seasons are commensurate with a guy who played in 2011. So if you played in 1960, 70, 80, 90, whatever, your pension level, the amount you're paid, that multiple is accelerated all the way as if you played, your last game was 2011. And that's something I'm proud of. But again, there's work rule changes. There's changes across the board. And I really believe that almost in, not everything, but in a lot of categories, we push the ball forward quite a bit. And like I said, again, it's up to the guys to decide if it was enough.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports, more analysis, download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus. We'll see you there.